Hey guys, what's up? My name is JD and welcome back to the channel where we discuss PC passion, tech reviews, unboxings, and setup design. So if you're into that sort of thing, consider checking out the rest of the channel and subscribing. So to be completely honest with you, there was not a single review of this monitor a month ago when I purchased it. Now, there are some reviews on Newegg now, but still no video or article-based reviews. It's kind of odd seeing that for a monitor coming from such a large brand like Acer. I took it on blind faith and purchased this monitor, the Acer ET322QK, because who needs names anymore? So the list price of this monitor, I'm just going to call it ET, is $500, but I purchased it for $380. Also, other people in their reviews claim they purchased this monitor for way less than the MSRP. So what's the deal with this monitor? Everything seems to be shrouded in mystery. This is a 31.5-inch 4K HDR LED monitor. It has a VA panel with AMD FreeSync technology, VESA mount support, and a response time of 4 milliseconds. So based on those features, it has almost everything I look for. There is a ton of real estate on this monitor and a pixel count to back it up. Gaming is glorious, but content creation and productivity is more what it's suited towards. Of course, this panel has a 60 Hz refresh rate, but that's just the state of 4K monitors currently. The borders are nice and thin on this one, really adding to that minimal look. The stand is adequate and robust, but basic. It can only pivot up and down, nothing else. At least the base mount makes up for it. The base is 550 millimeters or 21.5 inches wide in the front and 243 millimeters or 9.6 inches long. The stand is removed by popping open the access panel in the back and unscrewing the 4 screws in the back. The rear I/O is basic with 2 HDMI 2.0 ports, 1 display port, and an audio jack. No USB pass-throughs, no cable management, nothing. The speakers are mediocre, but I don't buy a monitor for its speakers. I always have a dedicated audio source, which is something I always intend on. The screen has a matte finish to it, so glares and beams of light are well dissipated and don't heavily affect the image on the screen. It's also worth noting that Windows scales all your programs to 150% automatically with the screen. I would go into the display settings and set it to 125 so that not everything gets super stretched out because not all the programs scale that well. Alright, enough of the small talk. How is the panel? It's quite amazing, honestly. It covers 100% of the sRGB color gamut with a 10-bit color depth, giving an amazing transition of colors. The colors are vibrant and have good contrast without being overly saturated. The viewing angles are superb. Even though this isn't an IPS monitor, it is a VA panel, which is in the in-between for TN and IPS, providing color accuracy and a decent response time. The viewing angle is 178 degrees, almost 180 degrees of maintained color without distortion is fantastic. There's no visible backlight bleeding, even with the lights turned off. Don't mind the light coming from the right, that's just my overly RGB PC. When watching lower resolution videos such as 1920 by 1080p, it's very apparent and the picture has a lot of grain. Although if you plan to game at 1080p, the downscaling isn't that bad and still looks relatively good for being on such a large monitor. You can definitely use this monitor for gaming, although with such a large display, there is quite a bit of screen tearing. Depends on the game, of course. Some are better than others. The ET does have AMD FreeSync, but I don't have an AMD card capable of 4K gaming, unfortunately, so I wasn't able to test that out. The ET has a response time of 4 milliseconds, as I mentioned earlier, but 4 milliseconds is relatively fast. It takes 20 milliseconds for a human brain to process an image, so 4 in retrospect is great for a monitor of this size and caliber. Since this is a monitor more geared towards productivity and content creation, you would need to be able to save your own color profiles to take full advantage of the monitor's color reproduction. And guess what? You can save a profile, which I'll show you in a moment. First, you need to navigate through the menu. The navigation menu is directional based, like the arrow keys on your keyboard. A lot of people don't like that type of navigation, but for me, I find it very intuitive compared to others. You can click on the top button and you can choose menu, mode, brightness, and input. In the modes menu, you can choose 8 different presets with a user preset as the customizable one. So you can operate in the sRGB, Rec 709, and HDR workspaces. Going back to the menu, you can go through a wide array of settings. The first including picture, which controls the basic brightness, contrast, and back boost options. You can enable super sharpness and HDR as well. Moving on to the color tab, you can choose your different color workspaces, including a customizable profile. Move down to color temp and scroll to user. You'll see the color options below turn green to know they can be edited. Click on the color option you want to change and adjust it to your liking, and click the menu navigation button again to save the adjustment. You can change the RGB gain and bias by each individual channel. You can further the adjustments with 6-axis hue and adjust the hue for red, green, blue, yellow, magenta, and cyan channels. Additionally, the same applies for the 6-axis saturate adjustments as well. Just make sure you're in the standard color space if you want those adjustment options available. In the gaming tab, you can activate FreeSync, refresh rate number, and an aim reticle, which is kind of neat. In the options menu, you can enable picture-in-picture or picture-by-picture. And lastly, if you made any changes like the ones demonstrated in the color tab, you'll see at the bottom left-hand side of the menu, Save Settings To. Scroll down and select that tab and choose which profile to save your adjustments to. Overall, this monitor is almost everything I can ask for. It has a ton of real estate, great color accuracy, relatively low response time, thin borders, VESA support, great viewing angles up to 178 degrees, no visible backlight bleed, solid construction, fast options to adjust color settings, and it's in 4K resolution. The only minor drawbacks are that the stand is basic, but at least it's sturdy, no cable management options, and basic I/O with no USB pass-throughs. It does a good job at gaming, but it does tear quite a bit depending on the game. This monitor offers a lot for content creators like myself, while also catering to gaming as well. Some of the features may be basic, but it offers a lot for its price. The list price is $500, but it's usually on sale for less, which in my opinion is a steal. This is a monitor in the unknown, but I'm glad I took a leap of faith on this one. I hope you all enjoyed the video and found it helpful. Sunday I have a special video coming to you guys, so be on the lookout for that. And on Christmas Day, I'm going to try and have my most beautiful build video yet. If you're new here and want to see more videos like this one, consider subscribing and checking out the rest of the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.